The holidays are a time for gathering around the table and sharing delicious food with loved ones. But as we get older, our needs and preferences can change. So today, we're going to explore how to make holiday meals enjoyable with our resident social worker, Sister Regina Dunlap. And we're so glad to have Mother Helen Brooks. Many seniors have dietary restrictions or health concerns. And Sister Regina, how can we ensure that foods we suggest are suitable, and there are a variety of needs such as like diabetes and low sodium, and having difficult swallowing? What do you suggest that are good foods?
So a lot of foods that we make now, we can kind of change up our recipes. And so like when we were younger, our parents made the greens and the greens had the ham hock. Just replace those ham hocks with the smoked turkey leg. Gives the same flavor. Using things like if you're using broth to put in your greens or to pour over your dressing to make it moist, use a low sodium one for your folks with high blood pressure. And then, there are sweeteners that we can replace with regular sugar. There's maple, there's, stevia, different kinds of sweeteners that we can use that don't raise the blood sugar as much. And then always just be moderate. Sometimes folks will have like issues with chewing and swallowing. And so think of using more of what they call a mechanical soft diet. A little mashed potatoes. If you're making meat, make the meat a little softer. Sometimes folks will like a little bit more firm, but take theirs out early so that they can enjoy the festivities also.
Yeah, that's good, Sister Regina, because I know, Dr. Gregory's a vegetarian. So oftentimes, like if we're cooking something with meat, we'll set aside something for him that doesn't have it. So I like that. Now, beyond just easy to eat, how can we make food appealing to seniors who have like a diminished sense of taste and smell?
So I was kind of looking up that answer because I know what I do. So for me, it's more of like building a flavor profile. Something that's more aromatic, especially if they have diminished smell. Something that's more aromatic that will entice them, and the visual of the food, and then just eating with them, inviting, being more inviting to them and allowing them to enjoy is always the best.
Yes. Now, you were talking about inviting seniors. What about those that are homebound and have limited mobility? How can we ensure that they're still included?
Two things. One, when you're cooking, they know those recipes. Call them up. Even if they can just tell you over the phone, how did grandma used to make those biscuits or what have you, that lets them feel a part. And then also, if you're making the food and they can't come out to you, take a meal to them. But don't just bring them Tupperware. No, get them a place setting. Put a little candle on the table and sit down with them while they have their meal so that they still feel like there is that camaraderie, there's that togetherness, there's that joining of spirits.
Yes, I love that. Don't just drop it off, sit down. Now, Mother Brooks, what are some of your favorite things to eat during the holidays?
My favorite thing is the dressing.
Okay, and that's nice and soft.
Yes, and I don't like it packed. I like it loose. Uh, and I like the sweet potatoes. I like to bake them in the oven. Wash them, oil them, and put them in the oven and let them bake until you smell them. And you can smell the flavor in them, and then take them out and have a good time.
Yes, and now are there any foods now that you find harder to enjoy, and what have you used like as a good alternative?
All right. Now, I still eat a little meat and my chicken, and I have a chopper, grinder. And so when I take it and grind it up like hamburger meat, and then that way I can eat it better because I do have dentures.
Okay. I like that, Mother. So you said you take it and you grind it up, and you can combine it with your dressing or, something like that. Now, lastly, Mother, how can we make sure that everyone, regardless of their age, still feels included?
Well, as Sister was saying, when you take their plate or take a dinner over to their home, sit down with them and talk about old times or just listen to them talk. Mostly that's what you'll be doing with the older people anyway, is listening. And, you know, just enjoy it, laugh with them, and sometimes they'll go all around the bush to make a point, and you just have to listen. You sit there and listen and nod and ask questions about it when they do that, and that lets them reminisce and
Yes.
and go back to the good times as well as the bad sometime. And so that releases a lot, and that's enjoyable to some of them. And then, be uplifted and, laugh with them and make jokes and stuff.
Yes, Mother, I find it like during the holidays, I like to, so we have older people, I like to ask questions, especially if it's like a married couple. It's like, ooh, how did you all meet? Ooh, sometimes it's real juicy too. I love it. The writer in me, I just love it. But it's a good time to get to know, get those stories that are passed down, from generations. Like you were saying, recipes. You have any final like words of advice, Sister Regina?
Um, the only the only thing that I would like to add is just make sure that they feel a part. Like we all can get out in the world and drive around in our cars and we can meet people and say hello, but a lot of our elderly, this may be the only time that they see friends or family. So include them. Even in the smallest little pieces, include them.
Yes, thank you, Sister Regina. This was just right on time for the holidays. Let's remember that the most important ingredient is gathering and having a connection with one another. Now let's go back to the Hope Desk.